Now, how does Iran view this sharp escalation of violence? Let's ask our correspondent there, Reza Sayah. Reza, Iran seen as a key ideological ally of Hamas, but what kind of support should the Palestinian leadership in Gaza expect from Iran?
Nadia, based on the current circumstances and based on the history of Iran's reaction when similar fighting has erupted in the Israeli-Palestinian territories, I think we can expect Iran's support to be limited to moral support and political support, mostly in the form of very strong statements of condemnation, like the ones we've heard from Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, like the ones we've heard from Iran's Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif. Those two men, along with other senior Iranian officials, have released statements condemning Israel's actions, blaming the fighting on Israel, and offering their support to the Palestinians. Iran's powerful Revolutionary Guard also releasing a statement of condemnation against Israel. In that statement, the Revolutionary Guard saying that the Palestinians can expect stronger support from Iran than ever, including, they wrote, intelligence support and support in the form of strength and power. A vague statement that lacked details, so not clear exactly what they meant. Obviously, Iran has been perhaps the most vocal and active supporter of the Palestinian struggle against Israeli occupation, the Palestinian struggle for statehood, not just in the region, but all across the world. And they've had a long-running relationship with Hamas, which is the organization leading the fight for the Palestinians out of Gaza. Iran widely believed over the years to provide Hamas with funding and arms. But that relationship has had its ups and downs. You'll recall in 2012, the Syrian conflict. Hamas, which is a Sunni organization, did not join Shia Iran in supporting the Syrian government, the government of Bashar al-Assad. So there was a rift for several years where Iran stopped funding Hamas. But over the past couple of years, their relationship have been restored. And now you hear some very vocal support for Hamas and the Palestinians coming from Iran. But again, the way things stand right now, don't expect, at least publicly, for that support to be anything more than moral support and political support.
So, Reza, that's what we're hearing from the Iranian leadership. What about the Iranian public?
Very interesting. Like you said, two very different reactions. One from the government, state-run media. They've been very vocal. They've had significant coverage on state-run media. I checked one state-run news website. They've had about 10 headlines on their homepage, 8 of them devoted to the recent developments in the Palestinian and Israeli territories. The public reaction, as usual, very different. Very muted, and that probably has a lot to do with the fact that the Iranian public, the average Iranian, is facing so much hardship themselves in the form of a struggling economy that they certainly don't have time to come out and voice their support for the Palestinians. They care about what's going on there, but not to the extent that they're going to come out and demonstrate. So two very different reactions, one from the government and one from the people.
All right, Reza Sayah for us there in Tehran. Thank you very much indeed for your update.